Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bootleg, a Tennessean high school football show. We're giving you all a special playoff edition. I brought in my team from across the state, from Knoxville to Memphis. We're going to break down the high school football playoffs. They've been released. TSSAAA has released them. Everything but Division II AAA, which will be decided next week. And we're going to jump right in. We're going to bring in the high school team. And we're going to start with Cecil Joyce. And how we're going to do this tonight, folks, or today, folks, we're going to look at 6A through 1A, then Division II, A and AA. We've got a lot of people on here. Quick introduction, Cecil Joyce from the Daily News Journal in Murfreesboro is here. Joe Spears from the Columbia Daily Herald and the DNJ is here. Aaron Torres and a special guest, Buddy, is here from Knoxville. Kari Thompson from Memphis is here. The Commercial Appeal, of course. Michael Odom from the Jackson Sun is here. And then at the bottom, we've got George Robinson from Clarksville with the Leaf Chronicle. And folks, we're actually recording this late tonight. We've seen the brackets. This is our first impressions looking at the bracket. So we're going to start with Class 6A. Cecil Joyce, you're on the hot spot first. Tell me who you think's going to win it.
Well, you have to go with Oakland. Oakland's been ranked #1 all year. I may be a little biased as they're in my coverage area, but they haven't wavered all year. They have scored over 30 points a game in every contest except one that was called at halftime. 36 points tonight against a really good Warren County team. They struggled a little bit stopping C.J. Taylor, but most teams have. I think it'll be hard to argue a Maryville-Oakland East bracket semifinal contest again. And whoever comes out of the West, I think it's going to be a tough contest for either one.
And a team to watch out for?
I know they lost tonight, but Independence is a team that really, really is on my radar. When you have Jackson Campbell at quarterback, the things he can do, that's a team that can put up some points in a hurry. That's the kind of team that can ruin a lot of playoff dreams.
Okay. Next up, Joe Spears, you're up next.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Cecil. I mean, I think we're looking at another Oakland Maryville in the final, or not the final, but obviously you know what I'm saying, like another one of those matchups later on. But I would agree with Cecil as well. Independence, even though they lost tonight, I think they still got a great shot. When I first saw the brackets, that matchup with Laverne really caught my eye. I know Laverne has played well this year. Ray Banner has been incredible when he's been healthy. They've played well. But also, I look at Brentwood. I think Brentwood's a team that could make some noise here in the playoffs as well. I mean, once they get a little healthier, they've got the talent to make another sort of run like that. So, I mean, I think Oakland is the team to really keep an eye on here that can make a run. But I think Brentwood could shock a lot of people.
Michael Odom, you're up next.
I don't want to take Kari's thunder here, but I was impressed when I watched Bartlett back in week 2. Robert Giamo, when they played CPA.
Yeah, Robert Giamo.
What was that again? I thought that Bartlett's running back was the best player on the field when they played CPA at Johnny Hill Stadium. He was very impressive, very quick. I think he could really make some noise for Bartlett in the playoffs. I again think that it's going to be, like Cecil and Joe said, it's going to be Oakland Maryville in the semis, and I think whoever wins that wins the title. But watch out for Bartlett.
Okay. Kari Thompson, you're up next. What you're saying, 6A?
I'd agree with Michael. I think that Oakland is the team to beat, but I think Bartlett, as he said, is the team to watch. Good point bringing up Robert Giamo. He had another 270-yard, 3-touchdown game tonight in an overtime win against Collierville to win the region title. So Bartlett is the region champs and the top seed down in 7-6A. So, and, you know, obviously it's not just him. They have a really solid team in general. That defense is good. They have a ball-hawking D that creates turnovers, gets interceptions. Justin Jefferson scored on a pick 6 tonight. So Bartlett is my pick for a team to watch.
Buddy, the Bunny. All we've heard about is Oakland, and there's a team out east that I know a lot of people want to hear about. Aaron, please tell me you're not drinking the Oakland Kool-Aid like everyone else.
No, I mean, I think I've had Maryville ranked in my AP poll and my Super 25 poll most of the season, at least ahead of Oakland. Maryville's defense, they've only allowed Maryville on defense has only allowed more than 10 points twice to Ottawa in a 56-12 win and to Bradley Central 35-13. And so both of those games were blowouts. So who knows if the second stringers were in that game. Most of the time, Maryville's defense has just been stellar. Against McMinn County, they shut out McMinn County's offense in week 10. And McMinn County had been averaging over about 35 points and held Jalen Hunt, McMinn County's running back, who is probably one of the front runners for Mr. Football in 6A, to 0 rushing touchdowns. I still think Maryville is the front runner in Class 6A. A team to watch in Class 6A, I'd be curious to see if McMinn County can get past Dobbins-Bennett in the second round of the 6A playoffs. McMinn County still has to get past Bearden in the first round, and Bearden beat them last season. So that'll be intriguing to watch. And Bearden's been on a hot streak lately, finishing the region strong. So that'll be interesting. But, I mean, we saw Dobbins-Bennett and Alcoa yesterday. You saw that Alcoa was able to run the football pretty well against Dobbins-Bennett. And all McMinn County does is run the football. So that'll be interesting to watch in the second round of the playoffs. And if it's McMinn County beats Dobbins-Bennett, it'll likely be McMinn County Maryville for a rematch in the quarterfinals.
I think I'm hoping for a Dobbins-Bennett Maryville game. I'll be honest with you. I do. I think I watched part of that Alcoa game Thursday night. I thought Alcoa did try to throw the ball a little bit more, which probably helped the run. But I think I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. Sorry, Kevin. Oakland. I know that's all we talk about, Oakland football. I just think you got Jordan James and the Patterson kid, and you got Zaya Horton. I mean, they are so good on offense. And Vic Stevenson, I mean, the kid does everything for him. I mean, I think he probably fills up the water balls for him. I mean, he's running back kickoffs and punts and runs the ball, catches the ball. I mean, he's on Wildcat packages. The kid does everything for him. And no one talks about him. And I get it. There's big time players on that team. So Oakland, I like to say that they are the favorite right now going in. But the team you all need to remember, and not a single one of them was mentioned, they got 2 4-star prospects on that team. They will be entering the playoffs with the best 6-4 record in the entire state, Ravenwood. They've won like 3 of their last 4 games. They've lost to the number 1 team in the country. They've lost to CPA. They've lost to a Pulaski that does everything but play football the way everyone else does. And they lost to Brentwood in a rivalry game. So that's your 4 losses. And last time I looked, talent means something on a football field. Those 2 kids are never coming off the field. And also remember, they've beaten Brentwood in the playoffs the last 2 years. They've made it to the semifinals or finals the last 2 years, the finals last year and the semifinals before that. So please keep an eye on the Raptors of Ravenwood. Now, let's go 5A, folks, and let's keep it up. And, we've brought back George Robinson. We're going to let George talk about 6A football. He's going in and out of our chat. He's got some issues, but we're going to have George talk about a 6A favorite this week. There you go, George.
You guys can hear me, correct?
We're good.
Okay. It's been a long process. No, I'm looking at that 6A bracket. Obviously I think Maryville looks really strong. I like Indy, I like Ravenwood as well. But I'm going to go with Oakland here. I still like what they've been able to show this year, offensively and defensively. I picked them last year to win it all. So I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick with them. I think the question right now is, what are they going to do with Rossview's Ross's overall record? Are they going to give him that COVID win, or they're going to keep it at 5-3?
Okay, we're going to turn to Class 5A. We're going to go to Cecil.
I like Beach. Anthony Crabtree is no stranger to winning state championships. I think he has Beach rolling. Their only loss is a 1-point or 2-point loss to Powell, I believe. It was a really close game. I think a last-second play determined that game. The way they're playing right now, I'm going with Beach. My team to watch, I'm staying in this area, Henry County. A really, really tough, gritty team. They seem to always find a way to get it done this time of year. Don't sleep on Henry County.
Kari Thompson, what do you know about 5A football? I don't even know if you have any 5As anymore.
I do. Clarksville teams are going to be spending some time out near Munford in the first couple of rounds. One of my smaller French schools. As they say, 5A football has been dominant in Knoxville recently. So I'm taking with Knoxville West as my team to beat in 5A.
And I think Mumford has got some, they've had a lot of adversity with having to reschedule a lot of games. I like Mumford. I think they could win a couple games.
I think so too. I mean, I wish George was on. I wish George's technical difficulties would be straightened out so we could chop it up and talk about those first two games. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they would play Clarksville and then Clarksville Northeast if they win.
4A, let's speed it up a little bit. Let's start with Cecil. Cecil, 4A, give me a favorite and who to watch.
Well, this is definitely not a sexy pick, but how can you go against Elizabethton? They just seem to win it year in, year out, or at least right there in the thick of things. Last year's state champion, and they've been undefeated this year, ranked number 1 all year. Team to watch, a battle between two teams that are here in the mid-state area. I like Tullahoma a lot, but my team to watch is Springfield. Tonight's 28 straight points and a win over previously undefeated Creekwood, that made a statement. And we're talking about a team that was in the finals last year. So you can't sleep on Springfield either. I think they're my team to watch.
Michael Odom, let's hear it. Who's gonna? I know you're gonna disagree with this, but go ahead.
My champion is Tullahoma. Tullahoma has not given up more than 14 points in a single game this season. My team to watch, though, is Lexington. Remember the name Isaiah McLean. He's a sophomore running back, leads West Tennessee in rushing yards. Depending on what he did tonight, he had 1,600 yards going into Week 11. Lexington he's probably got the best running back in at least West Tennessee. So Lexington's a team to watch, but I think Tullahoma wins it all. They're going to upset Elizabethton in the semifinals.
Do you have? Is it getting past your bedtime?
Not even close.
I think you're not thinking straight or something. But Kari, give me a 4A. Help me set him straight here.
I mean, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I think Elizabethton got this one. The team I'm picking to win. As far as team to watch, man, I'm gonna be a homer and go with my local team, Fayette Ware, because they have a quarterback who is ranked in the ESPN 300 in Kyle Lowe. I mean, quarterback play is key in the playoffs, and they have a good one out of Fayette Ware.
Aaron Torres.
I think Elizabethton is the favorite. They've been great all season. They're really far east for me, so I haven't gotten them a chance to watch them at all. I just know they score a lot of points, and they don't allow a lot of points. So that's why they're the favorite. A team to watch for me, Anderson County.
They were your preseason favorite, weren't they?
Yeah, so Anderson County, I think this is hope. I think this is the year they can get past Greenville in the playoffs. They've lost to Greenville in the playoffs, I think, for the last 3 or 4 straight years. Last year, it was in the second round. Normally, it's been the quarterfinals. But last year in the second round, Greenville upset them in the playoffs. So this year, it'll be against but he's impatient. This year, it'll be Greenville, Anderson County, I think, in the second round of the playoffs. I think Anderson County will get past them. They have 2 quarterbacks they can play. They have Walker Martinez, who threw for 6 touchdown passes tonight. And they also have last year's starter in Stone Hatmaker. And they can split the time between either quarterback. They also have a good running back in Gavin No, who went for over 1,000 rushing yards tonight. So Anderson County would be a team to watch. I'd be curious to see how they do against Elizabethton.
Buddy's maybe disputing the pick is what maybe that's what the issue is. There's a cyclone coming, and I think we all see it. But Michael Odom in West Tennessee, I think we all see Elizabethton, barring a major upset. I think they're the favorite to win this thing. But I will say this: I like that Tullahoma pick. My surprise or my team to watch is Tullahoma. Jacoby Thomas has been fun to watch this year. Ryan Scott at quarterback has done a great year. Has had a great year. Done a great job running that offense. I like what John Olive has done this year. He's done, an admirable job. And I think the good thing that's going for him is he'll have a home playoff game against Elizabethton if he's able to make it to the semifinals. But it would be a pretty big upset for the Wildcats to beat Elizabethton this year. So great discussion there. Let's go to 3A. We all know who the favorite is, so let's just go on. I'm sure we're all going to mention Pearl-Cohn's the favorite, so just keep on going on from there. No, seriously, we all know it's going to be Alcoa. Cecil, let's do some rapid fire here.
Well, you mentioned Alcoa, obviously. You mentioned Pearl-Cohn, which was a team to watch, but I think a lot of people expected Pearl-Cohn to come out of the West bracket and play Alcoa in the finals. I'm going to give you a team not named Pearl-Cohn and not named Alcoa that I think could make a little bit of a splash in 3A this year, and that is, let me call up my bracket real fast, Milan. I think I might get some backup from the guy a couple of rows below me here, but Milan's got the name recognition, a great quarterback play. They've been strong all year. I think they're the kind of team that could creep up and beat a Pearl-Cohn and get to that championship game against Alcoa. I'm not saying they would beat Alcoa because I think that's everybody's favorite, but watch out for Milan.
Michael Odom, tell me about Anthony Brown because I know you're going to talk about Milan.
Let's talk about Anthony Brown.
This is small man crush, right?
Anthony Brown is the best player in 3A football in the state of Tennessee. Write it down now. Anthony Brown, best player 3A football. What he has done for Milan, quarterback, led them through the first 6 weeks. Covington game, they said, let's put Hayden Sullivan at quarterback so that Anthony Brown can be a playmaker. And that's all he's done is make plays. He makes play after play, rushing the ball. I think last week against McNary, he averaged 30 yards a rush and 30 yards a reception with 6 touchdowns. He knows how to put points on the board and how to get his team down the field. Milan is the team to watch.
Who's the favorite?
Alcoa.
Okay. Folks, here's the funny part is the deadline for Mr. Football ballots was Friday night, and we're past deadline, and here you are pitching a guy for Mr. Football right now, and I think that's hilarious. But, hey, I said you had a little man crush on the kid. I think it's a huge. Obviously, I've seen some highlights, and he's had a great season, and kind of hope I get a chance to see him at some point this year. But we'll go on. Kari, are you a fan of Anthony Brown? Let's talk about 3A football.
Well, it's a shame that the best player in 3A is going to lose in the first game when they play Covington because
it'll be second round, I think, but okay.
Yeah, second round. Well, I meant first game, but yeah, second round. They out. Covington is gonna make it back to the title game for 3rd year in a row. They're gonna play Alcoa again, probably lose again, but
second and 3. Pearl-Cohn made it last year, just so you know.
Well, they'll make at least the semifinals. Yes, right. So, Pearl-Cohn got them in the semifinals, but they'll make it 3 out of 4. They'll make it back to the title game.
Aaron.
What do I need to say about? First of all, before I say anything about Alcoa, I've lived here for almost 2 years in Tennessee, and I honestly did not know that it was pronounced Milan. I thought it was pronounced Milan. So that's the first thing. But second of all, so Alcoa is the favorite. Their defensive line is incredible. Greg Carroll, Georgia Tech commitment, probably a finalist or Mr. Football winner. Dude is 6'3", 250, and gets in the backfields in like a second. So until you can get past Alcoa's defensive line, you're not going to do much. They did have some unfortunate news today. Isaiah Cox, their star defensive back and wide receiver and 3-star recruit, he's out for the season with a shoulder injury. It's sad to see that for a high school athlete. I still think Alcoa is the favorite. I don't really have a team to watch, honestly, because I don't see anybody getting past Alcoa.
I think one thing with Alcoa and Gary Rankin is they've got people that can come. I mean, won't be as good as Isaiah Cox, but I think they have people that can fill in nicely. Obviously, Alcoa is the favorite until someone knocks them off. The thing, I watched the game with Dobbins Bennett on Rivalry Thursday other night, and I will say this: the thing that impresses me so much with Alcoa is just how big they are up front. Offensive line, defensive line, they are so big that 3A lines cannot handle. I mean, they don't have they have a 5A, 6A line. At least the starters are. That's going to give my team to watch a lot of issues like they did last year in the championship game in Pearl Cone. Pearl Cone, don't play with it, as Catfish always says. Don't play with it. They are 6-0. You remember they had a shortened season due to Dr. Battle's decision to delay the season. The last 4 games, folks, they have outscored their opponents 195-0. So we talk all about Alcoa's defense. Let's not ignore what Pearl Cone has done on the football field. 4 straight shutouts. And remember, game 1 was a scoreless tie at the end of regulation. They won 14-7. So they have had only 1 game this season where an opponent has scored in regulation against them. Martino Owens, he's fully recovered from that vicious, horrendous dislocated knee, I think, or ankle it was, dislocated ankle in the championship game, late in that game. He has had a great season. He will definitely be Mr. Football worthy, along with Anthony Brown and Greg Carroll and all that. So, but Pearl Cone, pay attention to them. They're going to be fun to watch. Folks, this is their last year in 3A. They will move up to 4A next year just to give Milan more issues in the playoffs. You heard it here first. Let's go to 2A. Let's go ahead and talk with Mr. Peabody himself, Michael Odom.
Gone are the big names of Cooper Bogus, the Mr. Football winner last year, Jarrell Dixon, who's now in Army, Eli Hammond as wideout, Noah Holbrook. All of those are gone, but Peabody still is 10-0, has a new group of talent up. Sam Driggers, a great guy at quarterback. Khalid Ganaway is their running back. I think he's a Mr. Football finalist at the least. Malik Ganaway, his twin brother at wideout. London Burkett at linebacker. Peabody is just as strong as they were last year, just with a new group of talent. Shane Jacobs knows how to coach, and he's showed it this year.
If they're so strong, why are they not moving up to 2A next year?
Because they want to see different talent. They've been out. How many more wins you want in 2A? 33 in a row. So
then they get another. All right, whatever. We're not going to start that conversation right now. It's late. Do you have a team to watch in 2A?
I think Adamsville tonight upset McKenzie. I think they could be a team to watch. They could give Peabody some fits, but other than that, you
don't have a team to watch. You're telling me. Cecil Joyce, 2A. Give me a favorite and a team to watch.
Well, I mean, it's hard to go against Peabody as a favorite. I'm not going to give you the kind of rundown that Michael Odom can give you on Peabody, but I did see them in the state championship game last year. Very impressive. 33 wins in a row is hard to argue against. I don't see anybody in the upper bracket beating them in the finals. But to get to the finals, they're going to face my team to watch, Lewis County. This is a team that's just been right off of the radar for several years in a row now. They've been just a little worse than the second or third round team they played. This year, they seem to have put it all together. The scores are impressive. They're 10-0. I think it's going to be a tough. I would guess it's going to be a semifinal game or quarterfinal game against Peabody. But that's my team to watch.
Joe Spears?
Yeah, the Class 2A title still rolls through Trenton, Tennessee. I mean, it doesn't matter who they have. I mean, Shane Jacobs has built something great there. I mean, we saw it 2 years ago when I was out there. And he says he has the best defensive coordinator in the state in Tab Val. I think he's one of the best in West Tennessee, if not one of the best in the state. That defense is still loaded. They're doing everything they need to do. So, I mean, Peabody has to be the pick here. You don't win 33 in a row for no good reason. That's a talented team. Cleet Ganaway, like Odom said, is a great player. He does it all for him. But yeah, Lewis County, I think that would be a great game. Lewis County, outside of their first game of the year against Riverside, they've dominated teams, and none of it's been close. But I think when you really look at it, I think kind of like I said for 3A, I think we're going to be in for a repeat of last season's state or 2A state championship game. I think Meigs County, it'll be right there in it too. So,
Kari.
Well, gentlemen, my side of the bracket in 1A and 2A has already been decided. You know who won that side of the bracket? COVID, because it wiped out all my teams. So I'm going to let you guys have fun. Enjoy 1A and 2A, because I don't have any Shelby County schools playing in 2A or 1A.
I respect your comments. I respect the fact that you're just not getting on the Peabody bandwagon. Aaron Torres, 2A.
So Meigs County is out of my coverage area. They went to the state championship last season. And obviously they had awful news this past week with the bus crash that happened there. But I mean, Meigs County, I think, is probably the team that'll get back to the state championship in 2A. A team to watch in my area. I mean, they've lost a good amount of games in a row. They've lost 4 in a row, and they had a COVID loss today. But I thought Oneida could give Meigs County some trouble in Class 2A, at least in the quarterfinals. Or I guess it'll be the second round now. But last season, Oneida played Meigs County fairly well. And then earlier this season, Oneida only lost 33-17 to Meigs County. So I thought Oneida could do fairly well. They haven't had a good stretch lately, so I don't know anymore. Oneida will play Hampton next week.
I'm going to get on that Peabody bandwagon. I wish they were still in 2A next year. Shane Jacobs, I wish you were in 2A. Sorry, I'm just going to tell you. I wish you're in 2A. I think it makes 2A better. I'm going to get on that Trousdale County. They're my team to watch. It's another Satterfield team. It doesn't matter if it's Clint or Blake or whoever else is there. Who knows? I mean, the Satterfield family is so good. I think they're gonna find a way to get to the semifinals, and then after that, who knows? Good run. They're gonna run the ball at you, and I think it's the storied program that every few years makes it to Cookeville, and I would not be surprised if they somehow they'd have to probably beat a Watertown team that they lost to in the regular season, who's also a very good team. And then also, I mean, they'd have to upset probably Meigs, but don't discount Trousdale County, folks. 1A, I will start at South Pitt. To me, they're the favorite, folks. I'm just going to say this, and I'm not disrespecting South Pitt because I think they have a wonderful program. But it seems like we talk about South Pitt being the premier team in 1A every year. And again, they're 9-1 with a loss to a team in a higher classification. I get all that, but I'm not going to be surprised if somehow someone doesn't sneak up there because it just seems like it happens a lot of years. I think South Pitt is the favorite, but they're going to be on probably my upset watch a couple of times in the playoffs. I like Fayetteville. They're the team that did not get in the playoffs last year because they had to forfeit a lot of games for an ineligible player. They're 8-2 right now going into the playoffs. I like this Fayetteville team. Huntington, I don't think, and Lake County is not as good as they used to be or they have been in past years. I think a Fayetteville team can get to the 1A championship game, and I would love to see that be a great storyline. Cecil Joyce, let's go to you, 1A.
But I'm going to say Moore County is a team to watch. I know they just lost to Fayetteville for the region title, but they've been impressive against some teams in higher classifications than them this year. They've got a good solid program going there. Former Riverdale Warrior leading the way. I like Moore County as a team to watch.
Chris White done a great job in year one. Joe Spears, 1A.
Yeah, I think if there's a year that South Pitt can do it, it'll be this year. I mean, 1A has kind of been the top teams have kind of switch back and forth throughout the year. I know South Pitt has really dominated outside of that one loss, but I would agree with you guys. I think they would be my champion. And then it's hard to root against Fayetteville, not root against, I should say, but that redemption story. It's fun to watch, and I think they have the talent to get there. And I mean, they haven't had a whole lot of troubles this year either. So
D2A, who you got, Cecil?
Well, Davidson Academy looks awful good to me, but D2A is probably one of those classifications that if you're expecting an upset in any classification, that would be the one to go. DCA strong all year. It's hard to go against the way they've played. Friendship Christian has been traditionally strong. I don't think this is their year, unfortunately. A lot of teams can beat a lot of teams in this, but I'm going to go Davidson Academy winning it.
Joe Spears.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Davidson Academy. I think USJ, I think they've bounced back really well following that loss to Jackson Christian. I know they lost to Davidson Academy as well, but I think that team is still good enough to make it to state and to give Davidson Academy fits if they were to play them again. But Davidson Academy is just rolling right now.
Michael Odom, are we talking about USJ or Jackson Christian? Who do you see?
Jackson Christian's kind of fallen apart the past 3 weeks, lost 3 in a row. I think Davidson Academy is easily the state champion, but I think it's a rematch. I think USJ makes the run. They got lucky last week when Trinity Christian Academy beat Jackson Christian. That gave USJ the chance to take the 2, and that's what's happened. Andrew Smith at quarterback, Miles Mayo. Remember the name Still Haynes. I think he could be a Mr. Football semifinalist for USJ. Great name, great football name, Still Haynes. I think USJ makes a run. Go ahead and tell you, if Aaron Torres was on, he'd say the Kings Academy. But they'd have to come to USJ. Oh, there he is. There's Kings Academy. I was going ahead and talking about Kings Academy for you, Aaron. Kings Academy would have to play USJ. No, they have to play Davidson. My fault. That's right.
Okay, so let's move on to Kari. I think you have Memphis teams in D2A.
I have Fayette Academy, but they ain't winning the state title. I'll tell you that.
Eliminated.
So to me, it's between Davidson Academy and DCA, and I think I'm going with Davidson Academy as my favorite to win the state title for sure in D2 single A.
Okay, you're back online. So tell me, what you missed the chance to talk about 1A, but we'll let you talk about D2A. Aaron Torres.
I mean, I've been high on the Kings Academy all season. I'm still going to be high on the Kings Academy.
We knew you would be.
I mean, they have Jakeem Williams, Nikita McAfee. They have Jamarian Gooch, who's a Tennessee commitment at offensive line. They have a good young coach in Jonathan Sellers. I've been high on them all season. I'm going to continue to be high on them. I think they can make a run. I actually had them in my hot takes for the midseason hot take going to the D2A state championship game. So I'm sticking by that. I have them going to the D2A state championship game.
D2AA, I'm going to start it off because, hey, it's my show. I like an all-national final with CPA and Lipscomb. I think CPA is maybe a slight favorite because they've been there so often. They played really well going into the thing. I know they're the second seed to CPA or to Lipscomb. I think maybe if you look at the pairings, I think it probably works out in their favor because unlike Mr. Torres, we'll talk about the Knoxville private school teams. I think Lipscomb and CPA are at another level compared to the Knoxville private schools, but I do think ECS and Lausanne are for real. But I think Lipscomb is, Trent Dilfers had a great second year. I like what he's done, but I think CPA is still my favorite to win in D2AA. That might change in 48 hours, but right now, that's my pick. Cecil Joyce.
The beauty of Division II brackets. You can get a rematch in the state championship game like CPA and Lipscomb. I love CPA. I've loved them all year. I know they lost to Lipscomb the first time. Beating Ingle Martin twice in the same season is going to be tough. With a team like he has this year, I think it's nearly impossible. I love Trent Dilfer and what he's done at Lipscomb, but Langston Patterson is going to win a state championship this year.
Joe Spears.
Yeah, I think CPA makes it back, and I think we get a rematch of last year's game between them and ECS. I think an all-national final would be fun, but I feel like Kari will talk a little more about ECS. I think this ECS team is good, like you said, and I just think CPA, they get revenge this time. I don't think their loss to Lipscomb Academy was all that damaging. Like you said, Lipscomb Academy is playing well, but I think they make it to the final and they actually get that revenge this season.
Michael Odom.
I think it is a CPA Lipscomb final. I think CPA gets them this time, but I'm going to tell you a team to watch. And he's done a great job turning this team around, and that's Tyler Turner at Good Pasture. He took Liberty from nothing up to a state champion or state runner-up finish. You watch what he does at Good Pasture. He will have them as a contender very soon.
Former Olive Branch coach getting it done. Shout out to Mississippi. One time for the SIP.
All right, Kari, your chance. Who do you got? ECS, Lausanne, who is it?
Yeah, you already know I'm rolling with the defending champs until somebody knocks them off. I mean, we gotta go with ECS as the favorite to win the state title, even though I will acknowledge that CPA is very good and they smoked my best 6A team in Bartlett earlier this year. So we have to acknowledge that. Can't ignore it. But I'm rolling with ECS, man. They got, a top 5 prospect in the state in Dietrich Pennington. They have the Blue Cross Bowl MVP, Andrew Agapos, coming back. They have most of their players coming back from last year. They got a very good running back in Jalen Greenwood. So that's my pick. My team to watch, again, I'm going to seem like a homer, but the Lausanne Lynx are going to be a tough out. And I think that second-round game between them and Lipscomb is going to be very good.
I agree with you. I think Lausanne's a very, very talented team. Aaron Torres, let's wrap it up.
So CAK won the East Region Championship for the first time, or any region championship since 2011. And that's when they were in the public school division. Mm-hmm. And they also went 10-0 for the first time in school history. Travis Mozingo, their coach there, he's been there since 2016. He's done an incredible job. So they're the number 1 seed, and I'm going with CAK to reach the D2A finals. I think they'll beat CPA. I mean, CAK has a really good running back named JD Dunn, who I wasn't at the game tonight. That was Will Backus, our intern. And I wish Will could have been on because Will could have talked about what he saw in JD Dunn. Because let me tell you, that guy looks like a running back. And he looks like he has no problems running over people or by people.
Will is a great reporter for us. Wish he was on their show tonight. Don't know what you're saying. I mean, maybe he would have come to his senses with CPA. They're if they can avoid COVID, they're a team to watch this year. Of course, that's with every team. COVID is going to be a major obstacle over the next 5 weeks. I want to thank everyone for joining the show. I know it's ran long, but I think we gave our listeners a good look at the brackets, and I think it's going to be a fun week. It'll be interesting to see what COVID does in the first round. But thanks for everyone for joining us. You've been watching the Bootleg presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. It's been a special playoff edition. Again, it's playoff time in Tennessee. Let's get going, and everyone please mask up, socially distance to stay safe, and let's figure out a way to get to Cookeville this year. You've been watching the Bootleg Show presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans.